In today's park review, we are talking about Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri, a Cedar Fair park that doesn't seem to get talked about enough. So I'm here to give my full thoughts on it. So if you're thinking about visiting Worlds of Fun, or maybe this is your home park or you've never been before, hopefully this review will be able to encourage you to go again, or just help you learn a little bit more about the place. So to start things off, talking about the roller coasters, I think that they have a great top 3. I very much enjoyed Patriot, Mamba, and Prowler. I've reviewed some of these roller coasters on my channel, and I will be having more reviews come out later, so you can check those out on an individual ride basis. But overall, I do approve of Worlds of Fun's lineup. Timberwolf surprised me. I didn't think that it was as bad as some people have made it out to be. Spinning Dragons wasn't too bad. I think I preferred the Pandemoniums over this. Even though they have the same layout, I just didn't think it spun enough. But all in all, they definitely have a decent collection of roller coasters. Speaking of flat rides, they got Drop Tower, there's an Enterprise, and there seems to be a good amount of family rides. There's this huge area dedicated to Planet Snoopy that actually looked very nice. I was impressed with its layout and the amount of attractions that they had in it. So if you're looking for a good kids area, I think that Worlds of Fun's Planet Snoopy definitely is one of those. So I thought that the amount of attractions was good. I think the one thing that just disappointed me was that Worlds of Fun has so much land. There is tons of space in this park. And I really wish Cedar Fair would put some more attractions here. They have a good top 3, but outside of those top 3, the rest of the roller coasters are like fine. So it'd be nice to give Worlds of Fun another solid attraction. I've always wanted to see a launch coaster here. And land is not a problem at this park. Worlds of Fun has a crazy amount of space. As you're driving up to the park, you just see all this open land surrounding the park. So if there's one thing that really bothers me about Worlds of Fun, it's that they have all this land and they aren't using it. But maybe that's just a pet peeve of mine. Looking at the park, though, as it is, I went on a pretty hot day, and so I found that the park, for the most part, was pretty dead. A lot of the people were actually in the water park, which I was told was packed. I didn't actually get to go in Oceans of Fun, so I'm not going to be talking about the water park in this review. But it seemed like the water park was a huge hit with the public, and that's where everyone wanted to be because it was so hot and humid. But while we're talking about the humidity, I think one thing that would be nice is for this park to have more misters and fans in the stations and out on the pathways. There were some moments where I was absolutely just dying. And in the stations, I think it would be really nice if they had more fans blowing mist on the guests to kind of cool everyone off. And I think maybe one of those reasons why waiting in the station was such a killer, besides the heat, was that they were running one train on a lot of these roller coasters. Now, that wasn't so bad because it was a pretty dead day. I just hope that they run 2 trains more often than not. So for the most part, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was kind of like a mild inconvenience. So let's talk about the park aesthetically. One thing I really like is that as you're going around to all these pathways, there are lots of trees all over the place, so there's plenty of places where you can go under the shade. That was one thing that I liked. Another thing that I liked was that they had so many Coke refill stations. Some parks only have like 1 or 2. Worlds of Fun has plenty. Seems like in every area of the park there's at least 1 Coke refill station, so if you have your souvenir cup and you want to refill, you're able to. Now, one thing that kind of bothered me was that the bees seemed to really like the Coke refill stations, so when I was near Mamba and I was trying to fill up my bottle, there were actually bees living inside the soda dispenser, so no one was going anywhere near that one. I don't know how Worlds of Fun could fix that problem, and I don't know if that's happening all year round or if this was like a one-time thing, but that is something that really stood out to me. When looking at the food for Worlds of Fun, I did have 2 meals here. I had this plate of barbecue nachos that I had for lunch, and then I believe I had Panda Express for dinner. I had the dining plan, of course, so both of those things are available on the dining plan. So I realized that because I only had 2 things to eat, this may not be the most accurate review for the food at the park, but I will say I've never seen another park that has barbecue nachos with pork on them and melted cheese as a meal. This was the only park I have seen have that. So that's automatically a plus, even if they tasted terrible. Variety is always a good thing. Moving on to kind of talk about the park as a whole. I really did enjoy the place. I don't know if you necessarily need a full day here. I think it really just depends on crowds and if you want to do the water park. But I think it's very easy for families to walk around and spend time together and enjoy it. I liked how Worlds of Fun went out of their way to add in some things that they didn't even necessarily have to do, but it really kind of made it. Like, for instance, they had a band playing outside the entrance. That was a really cool thing. On one pathway, as you're walking over a bridge, if you look in the stream under you, they have these like painted fake fish in the water. I thought that that was really kind of cool. I'd never seen that at a park before, so I thought that that was kind of cute. And I didn't think that the park was dirty or anything. I thought it was really nice. Maybe because I've only been to the park once, I did think that the layout was a little bit confusing, but I'm sure the more you go to it, the easier it is to know. But as someone who had never been there before and didn't have a park map, it was a little tricky to kind of work my way around. But just in conclusion, I think that Worlds of Fun is a really nice park. I really wish that Cedar Fair would pay more attention to it and give them some more attractions that would really help sell it. Make Worlds of Fun a must-do park, because they really do have some nice attractions. But I feel like they really just need another standout ride that can help draw in more visitors, because they haven't added a new roller coaster in ages. So I realize that's kind of more of a corporate complaint. I don't know how much say Worlds of Fun has in when they get a new roller coaster. That may be a Cedar Fair problem. But that is one thing that I would really like to see happen, because as someone who lives kind of far away from Worlds of Fun, I probably won't be visiting the park again until they add in something substantial. I don't know if this is necessarily a park that you feel the need to visit like every other week. Obviously, if it's your home park, then you'll probably visit more often. But if you're from out of town, then you may not feel the need to visit this park all the time. So those are just some of my thoughts on Worlds of Fun. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. And of course, you can stay tuned for more park reviews. I have plenty more coming here at Coaster Studios.